Welcome back to Cineverm. We are a film review and discussion podcast where we talk about all the details. This week we watched John Wick 3 Parabellum, directed by Chad Stahelski, probably pronounced that wrong, and starring Keanu Reeves. My name is Anthony Renteria, and with me as always is the wonderful Chelsea.
Hey, how's it going?
So this is the review portion of John Wick 3, so there is no spoilers in this. If you've already seen the movie, you can check out our spoiler discussion where we talk about all the kills and twists and everything, and we get really in detail into like the choreography and stuff.
Yes. As
many of you know, this episode's coming out like 30 days after a break, so just to keep y'all in the loop, I had like some military stuff I had to do for 2 weeks, which threw my schedule off, and then Chelsea got a job, which threw her schedule off, and then Alabama sucks, which throws everyone off, and yeah, it's 110 degrees, 2 p.m.
I have no reason to not do Cineverm. I'm just lazy. I got lazy, guys. I'm gonna be straightforward with you.
But we're back. We should have some episodes coming up weekly, hopefully. But yeah. But anyways, let's talk about John Wick 3. This is the third movie of this franchise.
Yes.
If you haven't seen John Wick 1 and 2, then you're missing out on a wonderful trilogy of action films now. I just want to start out because in the spoiler discussion, I didn't have enough time to mention the cinematography of this movie. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to start off with that. Basically, I just wanted to say I love the cinematography of this movie. I love how they use just the shot designs that they use for all the fight scenes are so interesting and unique. Like, they never try to make anyone look badass. Mm-hmm. They just put everyone in the same field. And it really shows because most of the angles when they fight are from below the shoulders height. Really? It's usually from like a hip to shoulder where the camera is sitting at. Far away, but you're on the same plane as them. So you're never above them or below them. And it really makes you feel like you're there in that arena with them, you know, as they're fighting and stuff.
Now that you're saying that, I'm noticing that it was more towards the hip area. Mm-hmm. Especially in the first fight scene when he's going to go past like the library columns. Mm-hmm. You could tell he was really low. Well, really high compared to the lowness of the camera.
Yeah.
And the tables, you were kind of like flat with the table.
Yeah. Which is really cool because it makes it feel way different. Where most fight movies, the camera is by their eye line and you're kind of looking down or looking up, which makes people feel bigger than life. But in this movie, it's just everyone looks so average. You know, John Wick never looks insanely intimidating. He's only intimidating because you see what he does and you've heard what he does, but he never has like a god shot. You know, the camera's never spinning around him in slow motion, making him look like a badass or anyone.
Yeah.
The cinematographer's name is Dan Lawston, so I think he did an amazing job, especially with the lighting in this one. Mm-hmm. I feel the lighting is such a huge improvement from the last two, especially when they go into the Continental. There's some scenes in that place where the lights turn off and a green glow sets in, and it just looks beautiful, and it's like really bright LEDs that they use. There's a scene where he's like running in the rain, and it's like in a Chinatown area, and you see all these LED billboards, so it gives off this like Blade Runner vibe. Another scene or segment that was really beautiful was there's this scene where it's like all glass, and it's like this glass room, glass floor, glass cases, glass walls, glass roof. Like, it looks like a never-ending see-through glass, and then I don't know how the fuck they lit that environment, but it looks so
stunning.
Yeah, like everything was such a clean like shine of light, and you never saw where the lights came from.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, that scene alone was so beautiful, and then that evolves to another part to where they're on the top of this glass room, and on top of it there's this huge wall that's totally like ripped off of Blade Runner, the newest one, where you remember in Blade Runner they'd have these walls of light that would like change colors and it looked like watery. In this scene there was like it looked like a screen or something, like a display, and it had these weird colors that were like water just rolling into each other.
Yeah.
And there's parts where they turn off the lights and that's the only light and it's shining on them and it looks so beautiful. And then how they handled almost all the lighting in the film is very interesting. I don't want to get into too many specifics, but I just really wanted to point that cinematographer and director really fucking did a great job. Not only in the lighting and the shot design, but in the motions of the camera too. Like the camera's, it only moves with purpose, and then the editing only enhances that even more, which is fascinating. But anyways, what did you think about the film for people who haven't watched it?
I didn't like a lot of the violent parts about it, but as an overall film, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Especially because of the technical things because it wasn't like super close up and they didn't do a lot of crazy cuts that usually make my eyes hurt and my head hurt, but they didn't do it in this one. And I didn't notice the cinematography as good as you did, but I did notice it looked really beautiful, especially that glass room that you're talking about. Oh my gosh, you could even see the light reflecting off of their eyes, which was dope. And then not just thinking, oh, where are the lights, but how did they make the camera not show up like on the reflection of the glass?
And there was no shadows anywhere.
Yes.
So that must mean the light was coming from the bottom, top, and all sides. Yeah. It must have been
evenly. Just the story-wise, I thought it was very simple, but it gave Keanu Reeves like a good amount of things to work with. I liked his acting. I like his fighting. I don't know, there's some jokes in the film that I really like. But I don't think I would recommend it to someone who doesn't like a lot of violence.
Oh yeah.
I think there was like 5 or 6 times where I closed my eyes. And I was so glad I closed my eyes because as soon as I did, 3 seconds later, everyone was like, I could feel people gasping. Gasping and covering their hands.
Or cringing.
Covering their mouths. Yes. And then there's a Mo to my right. He's like, this is why I came to this movie. I was oh man. Like some people love that, which is awesome, but I wasn't expecting for it to be that realistic to where I felt the impacts.
I would say for sure if you've seen John Wick 1 and 2, this movie really doubles down on the violence to a whole nother level.
How many fight scenes do you think there were?
Like
separate? Yeah.
Including gunfights and any sort of fights?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. At least 10 big set pieces.
Yeah. And then some little hand-to-hand.
Oh, I included all of them.
Oh, okay.
I said there was like 10 that fluidly.
Okay. Dope.
But yeah, so if you're like squeamish to violence or you don't like it, then I would say go in with caution.
Yeah,
but
because I didn't.
Yeah, if you like violence, then you'll fucking love this movie. If you like the first 2 John Wicks, I think even if this is a little pushing on the violence, I still think you'll enjoy it. You just have to close your eyes for like a second or 2.
And you can clearly tell when he's about to finish someone off.
Yeah, the movie like gives you a hint. Like you can close your eyes now, and then you'll hear the sound effect and then you hear a body drop, and you're like, all right, I'm good.
Yeah.
I would say that if you like horror movies, I think you would really like this movie because of the kill shots, because they're played as like horrifying moments.
Oh yes.
So it's like suspense. The fight is building suspense like a horror film. Like, oh, are they gonna do a jump scare? Or are they gonna show a monster? And then at the end, in this movie, it always pays off with him showing you something that's a little too much, whether it's like killing people in very unique ways or whatever. So I think that's cool. I would say I think the story could have been a little better, but I appreciate that they didn't try to stuff it too much of like plot stuff. The John Wick series has always been about hinting at things. Like all three of the movies, they never go out of their way to flatly say blank is blank is blank.
Yeah.
They just hint at it, which I get why they're doing it, because they kind of want to let the action take the center and then the story is kind of secondary.
Yeah.
So this movie does exactly what the first two do, which is hint at a lot at a bigger world and at the same time show you just enough to get the plot through the film, and then hint at another one, basically.
And we were talking about in the spoilers that we think that we wanted to create like a conspiracy that the last movie's gonna have a lot of backstory in it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have a theory on what part 4 will be. And it recently got greenlit, so that's awesome. It's coming out in 2021. Woo! What else did I want to say? One thing I didn't mention in the spoilers that I'll just quickly mention is the music. There was times where I really liked the music. In the beginning, it was all like synthy, like kind of like a Blade Runner type sound, like and then around the end of the film, it turned into this weird rock score, which is like
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't notice.
Yeah. So I actually didn't like the whole last half of the movie. Well, the whole last half of the movie's score. I would have preferred the like synthy stuff, or if it would have gone into a more opera type thing. And it's weird because the director and, well, I guess the filmmakers involved, you can tell they really like opera because it hints that the movie is not just a show of brute force and brutality, but it's a show of beauty and choreography. Yeah. Which is like, it has a melody. Every fight scene has its own rhythm and stuff. Yeah. And I think it would have been really cool to mix the electronic synth stuff that has this like futuristic, maybe mix in the guitar that's, you know, showing the action, but also maybe mix like a very organic symphony with it and have it be a beautiful melody of that has rhythm and pattern, and then there's just sounds of chaos sprinkled in. There's a wonderful song by Trent Reznor that he made for this anime film called Tetsuo the Bullet Man. You can find it on YouTube. And he does just that, where he mixes like a organic orchestra, and then the score just goes into like insanity, and it's just weird noises of chaos. And I think this movie would have been perfect with the sound. Yeah. It's like that, where it's like chaotic and then it goes into very clean, beautiful, organic orchestras to show the beauty of how they are expressing themselves physically. Yeah. Or surviving or whatever. Yeah. I think that would have been really cool.
It would blend a lot more too.
Yeah, because I feel like the music didn't add anything. The first like 30 minutes of the movie, the fight scenes, there's no music on the fight scenes. Yeah, and then the last two fight scenes have this music, and I felt like it just ruined. Well, it didn't ruin the fight scenes, but it didn't add anything to where if it was just silent, just hearing the blunt force of people breaking each other would have played way better than the score that they had.
So why do you think they put an actual song behind the last two fight scenes?
To pump it up. Oh. They probably thought, like, you know, we started blunt, now we end on this grand level, you know, you know, like the stakes are higher, let's add some music. Yeah. I would have done the same thing. I would have just had a different score. Yeah. I feel like the score wasn't backing up the movie, as every other element was. Like, the cinematography fit the mood and vibe of the film because it's not this huge flashy thing. It's very on the ground, dirty realism. But at the same time, there's never any shaky cam, so it's not forcing itself to look real or gritty or like in your face. It's just a blunt reality of violence.
God, John Wick has gone through so much. It's ridiculous.
I will say one of my favorite things about this movie, I dig into this more into the spoiler discussions, but I really love how in this movie John Wick just is so exhausted, and every fight scene he has moments of him like literally gasping for breath, struggling to stand up straight, walking like an old man.
He misses a lot of shots.
Yeah, he gets hit way more than he does in the first two films. You know, and you can just tell that he is just so fucking done with this shit. Yeah. And And I feel like a lot of people are thinking like he's overdoing the kill shots, but I feel like at his stage of his life right now, he's so exhausted and tired that there's probably so much pent up anger and just emotions in him that I totally believe someone like him would finish someone off with like 2 or 3 bullets after they're already dead. Mm-hmm. Just because, like, what else are you releasing your energy on, you know? Mm-hmm. When you're that frustrated. And then he's also, you could tell he kills people, well, he finishes people off because he never leaves anyone suffering. Like in most action movies, the main hero always walks away while someone's bleeding to death. John Wick has never left anyone bleeding for more than 5 seconds. Like when he kills someone, he always goes back to make sure they're dead, or he kills them instantly. And then after he kills them is when he releases his emotions by shooting an extra 3 bullets in his head. But he's already dead, so in reality, he's not making anyone suffer. He never stabs someone for like enjoyment of pain or breaks something for enjoyment of pain. It's always to end their life as rapidly as possible.
Yeah. And he always gives people an option to not go forward with the fight in the beginning. Whether it be a quiet, "Are you sure?" by just standing back, or he literally says, like, "I don't think you should do this." Yeah. Because he knows he's gonna win. Yeah.
And that's the other thing. I love how in this movie it really shows his tacticalness, because he's not the fastest fighter. He's not even the smartest or strongest fighter. But he is the most patient out of all the fighters that in the whole movie shows. He is constantly willing to wait for the right opportunity, and there is never a moment where he gets impatient. Yeah, like he never gets frustrated, and it's so awesome seeing that in a movie like that.
Yeah, I think I would have gotten frustrated. I think he did get frustrated when
I was saying like there was never a moment of him like missing a hit and then standing up frustrated, and then running for another hit. That's what every other person does. He'll throw someone on their back. They stand up twice as angry. They're not even thinking logically anymore. They're just throwing punches as hard as they fucking can because they're pissed, you know? Yeah. And that's, I feel like his greatest skill is that he is never willing to go out of his way for a strike. He's only does it when he feels comfortable.
Talking about bites, can we talk about the 2 dogs? Well, the 2 fighter dogs?
Oh, yeah.
I love all of their scenes.
Yeah.
And they were all, well, you told me that they're all real, so that just makes it way more impressive that they were trained so well.
Oh, yeah. Now, there's a whole extended sequence with the 2 dogs, and that whole scene is practically shot, and that's all the dogs doing their stunts. Halle Berry doing her stunts. John Wick doing his stunts.
We didn't really go into Halle Berry or whatever, but I feel like she did a really good job. Yeah. Just how she wanted kind of to be like a John Wick person. She was like the female John Wick, at least in my opinion, because she went in there, she was like, and then she also like punched and stuff, and then whenever someone clearly like overpowered her, she'd be like, I forgot their names or their commands, but she would command the dogs, and the dogs would come in and be like,
oh yeah, it sounded like some German commands. It was like,
oh yeah, but the point is that the Halle Berry did a good job, and the dogs, and John Wick's new dog, he did a wonderful, beautiful face licks. His eyes glowed. We should get a cat in there next time.
There was a cat in the movie.
There was a cat?
Don't you remember?
No.
It was eating some sushi.
Oh, yeah. The cat in the film was perfect. He slept the whole time, but you know, it's okay.
Yeah, defined what a cat would do.
Yeah.
Because you can't train a cat to do some John Wick shit.
Yeah.
But what if they did?
Kitty ninjas.
That would be awesome. Cat would make a perfect assistant killer. Just slicing it, like your cat just jumps on people's faces and runs away.
Supposedly you can train cats though.
Really?
Yeah. What is your rating?
Oh, well, one last thing. We've already talked about the choreography, but I just want to say one last time, I just want to give a huge shout out, respect to all the choreographers and stunt actors and all the stunt men and women who participated in this movie, and all the stunt drivers and coordinators and production designers.
Yeah.
They all did such a wonderful job. I hope this film can inspire other films to have action sequences in this manner, because it's truly like next level. It's beautiful to see this kind of movie made in Hollywood, in America, Hollywood, because this is the kind of film that only happens in Asia. This is the kind of film that only like Jackie Chan back in his day would make. Or if you've seen the Raid movies, that level. Or there's other Asian countries that have really amazing kung fu or action martial arts movies.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, for the first time, I believe this is America's answer to that. And super awesome. The more people do these kinds of films, the happier I am, because it truly shows creativity, originality, and innovation, skill.
Yes. There's another thing that I noticed that these people did that usually doesn't happen while there's a lot of fighting going on. They would hold after the person is down. Mm-hmm. You know, like the person is down and they would actually take their time to recover. Oh. It wasn't unrealistic, like they fell and then they wouldn't be harmed at all, and then they would get back up. Yes. And just start fighting like crazy.
Yes. And that's the beauty of I've never seen an action film where the main character is this exhausted. Like,
well, yeah, and even the people he's fighting is what I mean. Like, everyone was on point with that.
Yeah, there's like multiple moments of them all struggling to stand up for 3 solid seconds.
Yeah.
But when most
and they won't cut away. They didn't cut away.
In most action films, someone gets knocked down and then it cuts to them standing up more strong or some shit.
Oh, yeah.
But each fight felt more exhausted than the last. And I can't imagine how many times the stunt men and women had to do these scenes on camera. Like, imagine doing 3 takes when it's a 2-minute scene. Oof. You're getting flipped 4 fucking times. Fake stabbed, fake punched. I
think for Keanu Reeves, it's like a benefit because he needs to act tired. Mm-hmm. But for the other stunt people, they have to act like sharp or whatever. Do you think I don't know. I think they might have taken like a breather in between each scene or whatever.
Yeah.
Be like, Mo, you punched me too hard here. Or, oh, I'm sorry, I accidentally, cut you over here. Yes. Let's fix what went wrong.
All the hits look so good too. Like, there's karate chops to the neck, like face palms to the nose, doing like the claps to the ears. These are all moves like that are extremely dangerous. Like if you go too far on this, you could literally pop someone's eardrum. You hit them too close right here, you can literally break their nose into their skull. Yeah. A karate chop to the neck, a little too hard. Out. Yeah, like these are all moves that are meant to kill people, and the fact that they do them so realistically, and then it's multiple all back to back.
Yeah.
So you're doing a 3-minute scene, you're already exhausted in real life, and then you have to fake a karate chop that looks even more real than the first one, and more exhausted but also more strength.
Do you think they were wearing padding?
I don't know.
Because there was a lot of, obviously, the flips, so you would land on your back a lot. Mm-hmm. And then I can't remember if they were kicks, but there was for sure a lot of arm twisting.
That's what I'm saying. There's a shit ton of him grabbing someone's arm, throwing his whole body on them, and flipping them over.
Yeah.
And it's really impressive because in an interview he said no stunt actor or him broke any bones during the film. From all 3 of the John Wick movies, no one's broken any bones.
That's awesome.
Or no one's been
injured,
severely injured, or gone to the hospital, or killed. When there's fucking movies like which movie was it? I think it was like a Fast and Furious or some shit. There's like some bullshit action movies where people die, and I'm like, who the fuck is in charge of these? Like, it was like Deadpool 2, they had that accident. And there's like so much bullshit going around to where, these studios are wanting to have these flashy action scenes, and then they hire people who are either incompetent or they're not considerate of what the safety of their members are. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's everyone's fault involved because everyone should have stopped it. You know,
Yeah.
everyone should have called bullshit.
Yeah.
And with these 3 movies, everyone is so tight knit because the actor is there with the stunt people. The director was a stunt man. Like, all these people understand the complexity of this, of what an action scene is, that no one is willing to half-ass it and no one is willing to sacrifice any safety.
Yeah.
And that's what's so amazing about this whole crew, because you can feel how passionate everyone is.
Yes.
And it's not some Hollywood, like, we just need a cool action scene, whatever, just make it happen ASAP. And then,
real good.
and then Hollywood studios are like, well, this is why we can't do real action scenes because people get hurt. It's like, no, if you hire the right people and you're actually passionate about it,
Yeah.
and you give them time and money and resources.
Yeah.
And John Wick isn't even like $100 million movie. It's like half that size of a budget. But anyways, I will say, if I ever make it in Hollywood or whatever, I am going to fight so hard for a Oscar nomination for the stunt community.
Whoa.
Because they deserve it.
Yeah.
And this crew and this series and these kind of films are the ones that should make it. Not ones that put actors or performers in danger, but they do amazing things in the safest way, and they make movie magic because it looks so unbelievably real. It's horrifying, but at the same time, you know, they didn't take any shortcuts to get there. It was just hard work, dedication.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, we're sweating balls in here, so we're gonna end this episode. Who would you recommend this movie to?
Action fans, John Wick fans, men.
Oh, if you love guns, oh my god, I wish I knew even one thing about guns. I feel like you would jizz your pants when he pulls out. You know, like, imagine if someone already knew what, like, a certain gun was capable of during a scene. They'd be like, I know exactly what this shotgun is. That is a blank caliber X5 with the handle grip extension module 7.
And a silencer.
Yeah.
Gosh.
I feel like this movie would be gun porn for a lot of people.
Or if they're familiar with certain knives.
Oh, or
I have never seen so many knives in my life.
Or martial arts. When someone's like, whoa, this dude is fucking jiu-jitsu or taekwondo or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like seeing someone go into a hold.
Like, what's his name?
Brian Ortega.
Yeah, there
was a YouTube video where he talks about fight scenes, and there's a part where he watched John Wick 1 fight scene, and he's impressed.
Yeah, he's like, I need to watch this movie just to see where his moves lead into other moves.
Like, he could learn something.
Yeah, and he's like a champion.
Yeah, featherweight
champion of the world, I think.
Yeah.
And this mode, literally, he jumps up onto his opponent's shoulders with his legs and chokes them.
Yeah.
That's his level.
Yo, what if he was like the villain in the next John Wick?
Whoa.
That would be so dope.
That would be dope.
They should get some MMA fighters in there. They would be perfect.
Well, they've had Ronda Rousey in what's it called? Fast and Furious. But I don't think they did her justice because her fighting scenes were with another non-fighter. Yeah. So they couldn't really shoot it in a way that looked real.
Him against John Wick would look fucking brilliant. I want...
No. Him against that lady.
Oh, the adjudicator?
Fuck that lady.
Yeah. I love how she didn't do anything. Like, she was literally just...
the messenger.
That manager that shows up at your corporate...
God.
Like, the corporate office manager that shows up at your store and just fucking judges everything.
Yeah.
But doesn't pick up a single pencil.
Or help make any orders.
Yeah. Like, she's so up her own ass.
I wonder what she had to do to get there, though.
Oh,
she was young.
I would love to see a fight scene with her, though.
That's what I'm saying, because
she's probably like,
you don't know what she's capable of.
One thing I realized in an interview, the guy was like, he was asking Keanu Reeves, he's like, you know what I noticed about all the John Wick films? And he's like, what? And he's like, you never take off your tie. You never even loosen your tie in the movie. And then he's like, yeah, gotta stay style order. And then I was like, fuck. If you've ever worn a tie, it's so fucking uncomfortable.
And tight.
Yeah. And I was like, damn, he did.
His neck would
Every
get
scene
chafed.
his tie is on. I was like, fuck.
His neck skin probably wrinkled.
Uh,
Imagine how much sweat you would accumulate.
and under that suit.
And the padding.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, in the sequel, I want Keanu Reeves versus Tom Cruise.
Or, no, that other guy.
Brian Ortega.
Yeah, Brian Ortega. Bring him on.
I want Tom Cruise because he is the only person that does stunts at this level. I want to see him get to this fighting level.
Really?
That would be the biggest fucking
That's not
thing
his
in the
thing.
world. I know, but
his thing is to be like, all right, they're head to head,
and then
and
he
then
jumps out of
Tom
a
Cruise.
building.
No, what? and then Tom Cruise starts running,
Oh yeah.
and then Keanu Reeves is like, "Fuck you, let me shoot you."
Yeah, Keanu Reeves brings out a sniper,
Yeah.
and then
or
Tom
an
Cruise
axe
jumps off a building.
after he's already. Okay.
And then he's flying a helicopter and jumps off the helicopter.
Whoa. A real helicopter?
Yeah, he did that in Mission Impossible Fallout.
But he jumps out of it?
He falls down a helicopter. You haven't seen Mission Impossible Fallout?
No.
I thought I showed it to you.
No.
I did. It was... Yeah, we did watch it. There's like
Really?
a nuclear bomb, evil guy, Tom Cruise is riding motorcycle.
Yes, I did see it. It was not impressive.
So you think this was more impressive?
I don't remember Mission Impossible.
Damn, Jay, you critic. Anyways.
4 out of 10.
Anyways, I recommend this movie to all action fans of all shapes and sizes, colors and beliefs.
If you like comic books, I think you would like this.
Oh yes. If you like weapons of any kind, whether it's guns, your hands, knives, cars, vehicles,
you're in the military,
motorcycles. Oh yeah, if you're in the military.
If you want to go into the military.
If you're a Marine.
If you want to.
If you're a Navy SEAL.
Ooh, that's a good one. If you want to try and be an assassin.
If you play Call of Duty, Apex, Fortnite.
Whoa.
What's another?
So
Battlefield.
You had so many buggers on
Rainbow
that.
Six, Siege. If you have an Xbox or a PlayStation.
If you play Pac-Man.
If you once put on a tie, but you didn't know how to tie it, this movie's for you. If
you've ever gone to prom.
If you like The Matrix or any Keanu Reeves movies, you'll like it.
He was in The Matrix?
Mm-hmm. He's Neo.
Have I seen that movie?
I don't know.
Probably not.
Anyways, I rate the movie a whopping 9.5 out of 10.
Whoa!
It was a phenomenal piece of art. I love it. I can't wait to watch it again. When it comes out on Blu-ray, I'm going to watch 1, 2, and 3 back to back. Probably bump them all up to 10 out of 10s if they tickle me.
Whoa! We have a pear tree.
What do you rate it so we can get out of here?
9 out of 10.
Boom.
Chicken strips.
So watch the movie. Watch the series if you haven't. Go support good action films. Support real shit.
Whoa.
Find us on social medias.
If you're a Joe Pod fiend.
Yeah, if you're about that Mint Pod life, leave it in the comments below.
We don't jewel, by the way. There's just a lot of memes going around.
Shout out to Excalibur. You know what it is.
AKA Dragon Fruit.
You suck at the library, but you know.
What? Oh yeah, Dragon Fruit been killing it at school.
Yeah.
Good vibes.
Good vibes and...
Oh, and it's almost summertime, right?
Yeah, summertime. So hopefully we can get him on some episodes.
Yep.
Review some classics like Bumblebee, Shrek 3, SpongeBob the Third.
Ooh. Don't matter what you look like.
We're gonna watch Hotel Transylvania 1, 2, and 3 with Jack exclusive.
No.
That's his favorite film series.
No, it's not. We need to watch the SpongeBob Gets King Neptune's crown.
The SpongeBob movie?
Yeah.
Alright.
That we need to watch that and just discuss it. We're gonna do a challenge to see how far we can get through the script without looking at the script and get everything right.
All right.
I bet you I know every single word.
Okay. We're going to live stream it. And every time you get
What?
something right, people donate.
Donate what?
I need to buy
Gummy
some
bears?
mics.
No.
We don't have
Donate
money.
No, don't donate money. Donate gummy bears. My favorite candy is Sour Patch Kids. Anthony likes all types of candies.
CBD oil.
Ew.
I don't know.
What? 4 Taurus.
Buy me some jewel pods.
Sunflower seeds. You're crazy, man.
Anyways, thanks for listening. Leave us a review on iTunes. Share us with your friends and family if you care.
Yes.
Hey, have a great day. Stay out of the sun. Stay out of the heat. If you live in Alabama, I'm sorry for everything that's been happening.
With this heat.
Yeah. The weather is garbage.
Yeah. The sun's been too spicy lately.